What is going on, everyone? The long promised video is finally here. Today I just wanted to break down what it's like consigning with RIF LA. So for those of you who aren't familiar with RIF LA is a consignment store in Los Angeles that was founded in 2006. I believe they have a couple locations outside of LA now. For example, I think they have a store in New York and maybe Miami. But essentially what RIF LA is I would classify it as a tier above local consignment and a tier below stadium goods. They do seem to be a bigger consignment store that is still very popular. They have a very big following base on social media. However, they don't really operate like a bigger consignment store like Stadium Goods. And when I say that, I mean their whole process is similar to that of a local consignment shop. So going right into that, what is the process like? So basically how the whole process started is I went onto their website and I emailed them asking like what was their consignment process like, what were their fees, and how could I move forward as a consigner. And so after about a week they responded with all the details. They charge 15% for sneakers and 20% for clothing, which considering how big they are isn't horrible. Stadium Goods charges 20%. And for those of you who actually aren't familiar with consignment at all, consignment is essentially where you give your pairs to a store and they sell them for you, taking out a larger fee compared to apps and platforms like StockX, Goat, and eBay. But in the process, you don't have to worry about selling the pairs yourself, and they take care of everything, the marketing, pushing the pairs. So they essentially are just selling your product and you have to do nothing but sit back and just keep sending them pairs. Once they sent me like their whole process of like how I can move forward and their like fees and stuff, I sent them a list of about 13 to 14 items. I'll pop it up right now. Yeah, these are all the items that I reached out to them about consigning, and as you can see, about 15%, and the prices are relatively high compared to the market at the time. That's important to remember because this whole process took place in about September, so some pairs were either a lot less than or a lot more. But yeah, once I started moving forward, they gave me a call. They gave me the rundown of how it would work. I had to pay for the label and I had to ship my pairs out to their store. And then I had to make sure that they had signature required just so it was verified that they had all my pairs. And by the time I got to the point where I was finally able to ship my pairs out, it had already been a month since I initially reached out. And so when working with local consignment, which I prefer to do now, usually it takes a couple days, if that. I do ship to some stores that are about a couple hour drives from me just because it's easier. Process locally is super easy if you can find a very reputable store, because yes, consignment stores, a lot of the owners of these shops, they can still be a bit sketchy, so you do want to be careful. But once you find a very reputable shop in your area, it's super easy if they offer consignment to just go in there, you show them what pairs they have. They'll work very easily with you to help you start consigning with them. And that's one of the biggest bonuses, is it's a more one-on-one relationship with you and the owner of the store. As RIF LA, I would like to say this, I'm throwing no shade at them. Their employees are super nice, they're super kind, and they worked me through it. The fact that it took 1 month for me to ship 12, 13 pairs is just not good. I already had the pairs sitting around, and the fact that it took another month just for me to ship them over, I was honestly very disappointed with that. So how has it been selling these pairs since then? So it's been about 4 months and I've made a whopping 1 sale with them. I sold 1 pair of Yeezy slides. Now you might be asking yourself, how is it possible that I only made 1 sale in 4 months at a big consignment shop in Los Angeles? And to be honest with you, I have no idea. I didn't think I sold them bricks, but I sent them. If you check StockX for the sales volume, which I believe is the best indicator of how popular a shoe is, you can see that there's multiple sales a day. And also I marked all my items at the lowest prices on their website and in their store. So the fact that I only made 1 sale is incredible to me. So I actually didn't even realize that I only made 1 sale until they finally actually they didn't even reach out to me. I had to reach out to them right after Christmas, and it took them 2 weeks to respond, telling me that I sold 1 thing in the whole time that I've been there, which I believe is outrageous. And I already had 1 price drop about a month before Christmas just because I wanted to get these pairs off my hands, just make as much money as I could off of them. I wasn't trying to, make a lot of profit. I was just trying to liquidate and get all that money back. But yeah, so about the beginning of January, I asked to price drop again, and every price drop I do about 10%. So I did a 10% price drop in about October, November, and then another 10% price drop in January. And I mean, more recently when I've been doing this, it's been very difficult to get a hold of them. I've emailed multiple times and it takes some weeks to even give me one response. And the response is usually just acknowledging that they got the email but they don't actually respond to my question or my problem or anything that I have to say. And for that reason, moving into my next question, would I recommend RIF LA? If you're local to RIF, I would check it out. I would see how it works, see how popular it is, and ask them to consign if you're local. If you are not local like I am, I'm located in Texas, I do not recommend shipping your pairs there. They do not have a portal, so it makes it very difficult to keep track of all your pairs and to see where the prices are. For instance, when I did make these price drops, I had to go on their website to see if they actually did it. There was no way of me really knowing because they never said, yeah, your prices have been dropped. Here's your new margins or your new payouts. I had to go on the website and figure that out for myself. And like I said, this is solely based off of my one experience. Every consignment shop is different. I want you guys to remember that. Some stores, they do a really good job of moving high tier pairs, and maybe that's what RIF LA is good at doing. Maybe they're really good at moving the older pairs of Jordan 4, like white cement, red 4s, off-whites, Travis Scotts, things like that. Maybe those move very quickly for them, but I thought I sent them pretty like low tier or more affordable pairs that more people were actually buying, and I thought that would move a lot better. Just because things like Pandas, like even like Jordan 1 lows, like people want those. They're very sought after right now, so I figured there's no way that these wouldn't sell. But I mean, due to the fact that I was only able to sell one pair in the past 4 months, it's unlikely that I will consign again. The process was very difficult. I had to call their employees, I had to email multiple times to ever get a response for anything. And so in the future, I do hope that RIF is able to either get an online portal or make it a lot easier and more transparent for the consigners and the shop to know what's going on at all times. And so like I said, maybe, you know, I just got unlucky. Maybe I didn't send them good SKUs of pairs. Maybe there could be an assortment of things. I don't really know. But from my personal experience, I do not recommend RIF. I just think that their turnaround times are a lot slower. And for the margins that I was making, I sold a pair of Yeezy Slide Flaxes. And when I sent them in, the market was maybe $10, $20 above what I paid. And 4 months later, that's still what I made. So it's not like I made $100 on a shoe that I could only make 10 or 20 locally or selling on apps. So it's just not really worth it in my opinion for the time and effort, and especially the fact that you have to ship and pay for that. I'm not asking them to pay for my shipping, but it's just still another like expense that I have to cover. And my whole goal was just to liquidate these pairs as quickly as possible, get that cash back to me, and then continue to buy newer releases. But unfortunately, I was not able to do that. Moving forward, I plan on reaching out to them again and I'm just gonna try and retrieve all my pairs, get them sent back. I'll pay the difference, and those pairs will be available to you guys and they will be cheap. I'm just gonna sell them basically for maybe $10 above what I paid, because I don't really see me holding on to these pairs. It's just become a hassle. That about sums up my experience consigning with RIF LA. If there's anything that you guys think I missed or you want me to go more in depth about, please reach out to me. Thank you so much for watching this video. What route you're going to take when it comes to consigning, whether that's either doing local consignment or doing online consignment like RIF LA or Stadium Goods. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.